Okay, can you see me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. So now all of them can hear me, right? Okay, good. Hello, good afternoon and assalamu alaikum to all. I can't hear what you talk. You can just, as Rosh said, you can just leave it on the chat box, whatever questions you have, because basically this is going to be really sort of like a half an hour. I'll try to speak, and half an hour more depends on the questions. We will see what we can do the best. Okay, this was just arranged with very short notice, so but that's why I could not prepare any presentation. But what I'm going to do, let's go straight away, try to walk through the new policy, which is basically just came out a week before. I put a audio earlier. This is something like a golden opportunity for many students and also many workers. And I'm afraid the system is going to crash on May 6th. But you know, the fact of the matter is, yesterday we had a big session with immigration itself. There were almost 200 lawyers and immigration involved. It was arranged by ICCRC and other CAPIC, where I'm a member of it. Even then, there are gray areas. But what I will, I am trying to straight away going to the website of the government. There are a lot of miscommunication chances are there, because first of all, it was introduced within a short notice, and the if and buts are too many there. So obviously, we as immigration professionals are not honestly very clear about everything. But I learned a lot yesterday by talking to them, meeting them, and with our colleagues and immigration department. So let me try to share the best I can here. I am very sure that this will be, eventually when we finish this small meeting, it will be sort of like highly productive, and it will serve the purpose. Okay. So let me share. I can share some screen here, no, Roche?
You should be able to share.
All right. Okay. Questions and answers, we will leave it for later, because otherwise we'll not have any control on time management. That's why.
No.
Okay, we'll start with the public policy. You to basically the website itself. Then there will be no communication.
Are you sharing something? Sorry, are you sharing something?
Yeah, I'm sharing. You can't see that? Okay, just a moment. I'm trying to share something. Yes. Can you see this now? Not yet, huh?
Not yet.
Or maybe it should be okay now.
Oh, yes.
Can you?
Yes.
All right.
Now it's starting to show.
All right. Okay. So we are going to straight away to the website of immigration, so that there is no communication gap. I'm afraid there can be a lot of mistakes people must be making, of the misrepresentation all can happen. So we are going to really try to eliminate, if we can't eliminate, at least minimize the mistakes by talking about it. Okay. Okay, I have highlighted only the important part. If you look at the eligibility, that is the main area. Students, okay, who studied in Canada, who has completed their education, there is a condition that it should be, the education must have completed after January 17. Okay, that is some, not before that. Now, what sort of education we are talking here? There are, if you have level, there are associate degree, there is bachelor's degree, there is PhD degree. So it can be minimum 8 months. Okay, colleges and diplomas here. So please, there are a lot of students can make a mistake there, because there's a statement that the education should be minimum 8 months, but that minimum 8 months is not applicable if it is where in any colleges. It has to be two-year diploma or minimum 16 months program. That's very, very important. That is because there is not too much of eligibility factors here. This is the one most important one. So you have to make sure that you have, or we call it like 8 months and 8 months. It can be even a different level of education. You don't have to be studied in the same category. Maybe you have done hotel management or something marketing later the next 8 months. It has to be definitely from a DLI. I don't have to tell you all those approved and high-end colleges, not like any local colleges. It has to be a DLI. Now, you have to also keep in mind, you need to have the diploma and definitely the transcripts and the completion letter, whatever. And you need to also make sure that you were a valid study permit study period. Now, there are some students, basically, maybe they have done some courses which is be a skill trader. For example, uh, you have to be a mechanic. Maybe you just need to study 6 months, then you go for a 4 years apprentice. So if you have done that 6 months program, that could lead you to basically you are getting qualified that you don't have to meet that 8 months or 16 months condition there. You may have questions, please park it there, then we will answer it later. Now, another big condition is that when you're making this application, after May 6th, and it is going on all the way until November 5, maximum 40,000 students are eligible to apply in this. And the moment they have 40,000 students, they say that they will close this program. So you have to be employed in Canada. First, we spoke about completing education. And second is that you have to be employed in Canada when you're applying, okay? Importantly, I'm getting calls from even back home, Kerala, that you have to be physically available in Canada. Condition. And you can be working in any job. There is nothing like knock B, knock A, nothing. You have to be, you don't have to be even working in a field where you're educated. For example, you must be an assistant, but maybe you might have done hotel management. So anything. Okay, other one is CLB5. This is where I think I heard that IELTS and Self-Pip website was crashed the day it was announced by the minister. And my clients, they called and told me they managed to get it in the last week of May, or some of them even in the first week of June. Probably you might have already tried it. Some of them, you already have this CLB5. Definitely make sure that it is not, test result should be lesser than 2 years old. So then it is eligible. Also, the latest yesterday, we got another good news from that. Let's say you have done the language test and you did not get the result sheet, result report. You only got an email from IELTS that this is your score. So that's good enough. Okay, if that proof will help. You don't have to, because sometimes you have to wait 1 or 2 more weeks to get that document. In this case, it can be actually acceptable than even if you have the email from IELTS or Self-Pip, one of them. Now, there is another condition that you must be living outside Quebec, okay? Now, if you are already currently living in Quebec, you are still qualified to eligible to apply for this, but you need to basically provide a settlement plan that you have an intention of moving out of Quebec, okay? So I don't want to get into too much of details now. I think very few of them will be there, but definitely you have to make sure that you have also provided a settlement plan, something like maybe you have a relative somewhere in Ontario moving there, or if you have a family, you have children that you're taking admission there or something, you have to show the IRCC to believe that you have a real intention of leaving Quebec. Okay, now how to actually basically put on this application and all, we are going to actually, we will talk about it once we cover these 2 streams. We said, first part I just spoke about is whoever studied in Canada, minimum 8 months to 2 years, okay? And we already explained that the 8 months can be either in something skill trade, or it can be a higher university level. But if any other diploma, it has to be basically a 16 months program. Okay, now in case somebody is married and his family is here in Canada, definitely you can include them in this application. Also, if they are abroad also, you can either tell them that they will join you later or whatever, but you can include them in this application. If you don't have intention of getting them here soon, you don't want to be part of the application, you can tell them that, yes, I'm married, this is my spouse, but currently I'm not including them in the application. So it will stay on the record. And what all other documents may be asked, I'm going to cover that later, so don't worry about it, okay? Right now, I'm only talking about the eligibility factor, whether you are qualified to apply for this program or not. All right, the intake cap for this program basically is 40,000 applications will be accepted. And IRCC is going to come back by end of the month with some more guidances and guidelines and how everything is going to work out in this case. But fees again, the normal $80 something. I think this is the same thing applicable here. And that's it. I mean, how you are going to pay, whether you're going to pay by using your credit card or you have to pay first and submit basically attach the paper document receipt with that, we are not yet clear. Sometimes, there are two options when you submit a IRCC application. This is not a paper application, this is an online application. Now, remember that I said this education, which is less than 8 months, okay, if it's applicable only that education actually was leading you to some sort of profession like this, skill trades we are talking about. I don't know how many of our students are basically part of this, but some of them can be there. It's mostly related to construction, agriculture. I think construction only, mostly it's construction if you look at it. Electrician, plumber, carpenters. Yeah, then mechanics, various electrical mechanics. There are some printing related occupations also. Yeah, oil industry, agriculture, forestry. Okay, a few things, maybe chef and cook, butchers, bakers, I don't know, some of our students can fall into this category. Just sharing this with you, that's it. Now let me move on to the other one, which is the work experience based. Now, we have already covered the education one. Now, all your questions, please put it in the chat to Roche. We are going to address it. I will again try to cover the highlighted part of it. We'll straight away go to the eligibility for this one. This one, again, they say nothing about education. Even if you have zero education.
Mustafa, I think your sharing is stuck at the PDF document, the public policy education.
Let me see. It should be fine now. Let me see.
Yeah.
Can you see this? Okay, good.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, now we are talking about now the work experience based.
I'm really sorry. Like right now, what we are able to see is your the folder.
Okay, just.
I think you are casting your wrong screen. If you have two screens.
This is already done.
So right now we are able to see the PDF. Now we are.
Yeah, I have many of them. Just.
Yeah, no worries.
We'll go there again. So we are talking about now. Let me see. Can you see it now?
Now
Still
you're
no.
seeing the folder.
All right, let me see. How about it now?
Yes.
Same thing?
It's a Word file right now. Temporary public policy. Yes, correct.
Yeah, this is fine. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay. So this is for the worker, okay? We work experience, because I know, I'm very sure that there are some people can fall into this. Maybe you have only 8 months of education, you only did 1-year program, and you have work experience. That's a possibility. There are also some spouses of Canadian students who can be falling into this category. All right, here, the condition is 1 year full-time experience, or it can be also part-time experience, but you need to make sure that you have worked 1,560 hours, which is exactly normally a full-time 1-year work experience. And there are some conditions again here. You remember when we spoke about the students, the education must be after January 2017. Here, the condition is the education has to be in the last 3 years. Okay, the work experience has to be in the last 3 years. They will see the date of your application and backwards 3 years and within that period. And now again, the work experience cannot be in any field. It has to be Annex A or Annex B. I'm going to actually take Annex A is mostly basically the healthcare. What they have done is that the essential worker category, the healthcare, most of the jobs in healthcare actually will fall into that. Of doctors to personal support worker, everybody falls in there. I mean, we'll go there later, but let's cover all the basically other. So as I said, 1 year full-time or equal part-time experience in the last 3 years in Annex B or Annex A. And A is mostly the healthcare. There are only maximum, I think, 20,000 cap there. And in the Annex B, all these jobs in the construction, agriculture, and retail also comes there. But there are some good job titles which, will help, I think, many workers. Okay. Again, as we spoke about earlier, the applicant has to be physically and he must be employed when he applies for this stream. And also, even when you become PR, when the decision is made, you have to be in Canada physically, please. Language test, we TLB 5 for the other one, and this one is TLB 4. And again, it has to be done. It should not be older than 2 years, the result. If you are doing it now, even if you don't have the result sheet report, you can just have the email from IELTS or CELPIP that can be used. Okay, those are the actually 2-3 conditions there. Mostly your confusion will be basically not about these eligibility factors. Your questions will be mainly how to go with it. I mean, how to apply for this. So I'm going to definitely talk about it even before you ask your questions. Okay, if you have family member, again, inside Canada, please include them in the application. If they are not there, just explain you're married and your relation, the names and all. You can mention whatever you want to do. You want to bring them now or you want to bring them later. The stream A, I will actually take you through those part of stream A. It's maximum 20,000 applications. Stream B is maximum 30,000 applications. Okay, one thing you have to keep in mind, this 1 year experience If it's in stream A, different type of jobs, that's fine. Okay, you don't have to the full 1 year in the same job. It can be different jobs in that stream. Okay, that mix-up is fine. Fees, again, as I said, it could be the normal fees only. It also starts on May 6th and ends November 5. But once this quarter is over, numbers are over, they will close the program. Now, Annex A, the one here above, mostly you look at all the healthcare jobs. Everything is there: nursing, pharmacist, dentist, all of them. Little bit because maybe some of our community students are falling into this category. Psychologists and social workers, family counselors, social and community service workers, home support workers. And the interesting one is actually, basically, I'm very happy that with Annex B covers even jobs like cashiers and service stations. We could not even imagine. People were leaving Ontario, going all the way to Nova Scotia and other provinces to work in any job and get PNP 2.5 years for a processing. That was a long, struggle for people. But this is really a cakewalk now, if you can make sure that you're preparing and submitting the applications properly. Again, there are some sales-related jobs: shelf stockers, clerks, and order fillers, tool and die makers, and all related to construction and agriculture. Many jobs are there. If we take you through everything, it will be a too long presentation. So I won't do that. To Google IRCC website and read all these things. I'm just to add. Okay, that's it, I think. Yeah, nothing much. And few points what I learned yesterday before, that could be probably an answer to some of your questions. I'll try to cover it here. Yeah, you see all these laborers in food and beverages processing must be working in factories and all. They're all covered in this, program. Customer and information service representative. This is another one. Many students, even security guards, good one. Okay. Here, the application, how you're going to do this. Normally, you know that any application, you do it yourself. You have a GCK account. You have to open a GCK account. Then you have all the security questions and everything is there. Then that takes you to what kind of application you have to. This time, IRCC has immigration professionals. We have our own portal and we submit it through our portal. Okay, but this time IRCC is going to provide you a special account, and you have to open this account. What's happened there? Okay, so now you can bring me back to the video. Can you hear me, Rosh?
Yeah, I can. I'll bring you back. I'll bring you back to the video.
Yeah.
Your internet, I think, is a little bit slow.
Yeah, I'm done.
So that's why I stopped video.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Maybe the Rosa effect. Okay. See, the documents expected to be, asked by IRCC. We don't have a clarity, honestly speaking. Nobody has a clarity, but I can definitely feel these are the documents they may ask you. Of course, your passport copy. If you are, because they say both of these streams you must be currently working, they will definitely ask your current employment letter. And if the pay stubs or bank statement, anything, just to prove that you are working. Yeah? Because even, and the other one, the students also, they will definitely ask you the education documents. It could be basically your diploma, your degree, whatever, and then your transcripts, and also in case there is a completion letter, the completion letter. I think those three cover will application documents, and employment letters and pay stubs or bank statement to cover your employment proof. Okay, then also make sure that you have everything ready, like a study permit when you are a student, and then when you are working under PGWP, postgraduate work permit. Please keep one thing in mind. If you are a student who just study completed and then you applied for postgraduate work permit, and you have started working because you can legally start working. And in that, you have that proof of application for the PGWP. Okay, so that has to be attached, submitted along with the application here. If you don't have a PGWP work permit. Of course, the language test I told you already here. If you have already got the report, submit it. If you don't have, if you have already the score, report email from the IELTS or CELPIP, please attach that one. Okay, and then definitely they may ask you an address proof that you are currently living in which province and all. You may have a driving license or bank statement or whatever, or you can provide that one. There is also a chance sometimes they may ask for the birth certificate. You can always say if you don't have it, at least you can provide it later or something. At least you need to explain. You need to give a solid explanation why you can't provide it. And another one is police clearance. Police clearance, I'm very sure that a lot of them need, because there's also a condition somewhere it should not be more than 6 months old. So even if you have a police clearance from long time back, you can just give it. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we have some technical issues there. It's not easy to get from my country, but I have already applied. So try to apply through BLS or whatever passport office back home. If they are accepting it, I don't know. And then at least send the proof of it that you're trying to get it. So we spoke about, these are the major documents, okay? But also keep one thing in mind, because it's a special stream, there is a chance that they may ask you to fill certain forms, okay? Because whatever I'm talking is being recorded. Maybe if someone is not attending this one, they can listen this. And you guys, if someone is attending, you want to make a note of it, you can do that. Because it was just, we decided only with Manavar and Tanveer and all yesterday, I did not have a really time to make a slide on this. But, and also I don't want to basically tell you that this will be definitely mandatory. I'm expecting after yesterday's meeting, or maybe they will get back to us before end of the month, that these are the documents we are going to ask you to submit it. And they are not going to ask you to just put an EOI. If it was an expression of interest, you could submit the documents later, within 60 days or 90 days. In this case, they will only accept the complete application. There can be some excuses on documents like PCC. There you can tell them that we can do it later. Okay, and also one thing keep in mind about the medical, when you are going through those the application process, they may ask you somewhere, have you done your medical in the last few years? Especially you have to understand healthcare related jobs and all. When they make a PR, they can still ask for medical. So again, you need to tell them that, in case they ask you, you need to tell them, sir. Some of them, some people's case, if you have already done medical, they may not ask you for it again. But in some people's case, they may also ask you to provide it. In that case, you should say, I can provide it, or put the application there, try to find out if you can do medical now. I'm afraid if they don't ask you now, then the problem is if the processing takes time, you may have to redo it because it's only valid for 1 year. So there are some gray areas in this program, to be honest with you. So you have to, I can't do much beyond that because I don't have my own information even after I speak to them. They said they will come back to us with more clarity by end of the month. So let's hope. So it's better to be prepared with whatever you have, or at least try to apply for that. Then at least have the proof of that application so that when they ask you to submit this all after May 6th, you are totally not lost. You are somehow very much prepared. Okay, the other forms, IAM forms, there is a form IAM called IAM 008. Okay, that form, they may definitely ask you to fill and submit. So if you have time, just fill and keep it. If they don't ask, no problem. But if they ask, you can just submit it. And there are another two forms, IAM 5662 and 5669. These are another two forms which they may ask you to, they want to know all your siblings and your parents, where they are living, what they are doing. There are some forms they want to know where you have traveled in the last, 10 years, whatever, so that they can ask you to provide the police clearance from all these places wherever you lived more than 6 months after your age of 18. This is how it is, because normal PR, we already know X percentage profile, then we have 60 days, 90 days to submit everything. But here is different. Here, everything, they are only accepting the complete application. There can be some excuses, some adjustments here and there, but again, we don't know what all documents they are going to ask. But I have around 10 clients I already closed, okay, the full application, representing more than them, because we don't have so much of staff now, only 3 staff, they are all working from home. So I cannot entertain more than 10 people. So I already, okay, so, but I'm telling all of them to fill these applications, 0008, 5662, 566. We are doing it for them because they are our clients, but you guys, I'm just trying to really help you with whatever informations I have. Keep it ready in case IRCC asks you when you are trying to submit it, you provide it, submit it. If they don't ask you, it's fine, still fine. If you try to make it all in the last moment, probably there is a chance that, too many people already applied and the system crashed or closed. I don't want that to happen. So you better be prepared the best you can. Okay, that's all about this documents and IAM forms. That is something very, very important. Is there anything more I'd like to share with you? Let me see. Yeah, so it's step by step. First, you definitely make sure that you're eligible for one of these programs. And secondly, that gather all the documents. Third, make sure that's all actually, prepared it in a nice way, like passport. You make sure the maximum color copy, clear copy. And also, last but not the least, your fees and your photos. Everything has to be, how the PR photo features, you can just see on the site, what's the specification, make sure that you have the photo also ready to upload there. That's it, Rosh. I think I have covered most of it in 40 minutes or 35 minutes. And if there are questions, definitely I can take it.